There is a rule that has been around for the past 30 years or so that says anytime you talk about Summer League, you must reference in a somewhat condescending way that it's just Summer League. So, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about the Thunder Summer League. Because as if the excitement for the season wasn't enough already, the 2 weeks of summer basketball was a nice little taste test of what's ahead for the Thunder. So, let's hit 7 main takeaways from OKC's summer hoops. Why 7? You know why 7. And let's start with number 7. Well, not actually number 7, number 1, but about number 7. You know what I mean.
Okay, now I'm confused.
Anyway, number 1, Chet. It was the first time Chet has played real regulation basketball since a year ago in Salt Lake, where he instantly grabbed everyone's attention with an impressive Summer League debut. Then he hurt his foot later that summer, missed his entire first season in the league, and we've been waiting anxiously to see him back on the floor since. Part of it was curiosity. Would he be bigger? Would he play different? Do new things? But more than anything, it was just great to see him back on the floor because his competitive spirit is intoxicating. In some ways, Chet looked like a guy that spent the last few months playing a lot of pickup basketball, especially in his first few minutes back. He has an incredibly impressive handle for a 7'1" guy, but he found himself in traffic a few times, and smaller guards quickly figured out how to jump his blind spot when he'd go into a spin move. But as the games went on, Chet started making adjustments, handling less, and letting the offense work for him more. He played more as a finisher with alley-oops and rolls to the basket, and of course, in the regular season with Shea and Giddey and Dort and J-Dub, things will flow differently. Defenses will bend other directions, and those opportunities to attack in ISO may present themselves. But just as a play finisher, Chet is a difference maker. The possibilities of his potential feel kind of limitless because the skill is so eye-popping. But you can also see where the adjustment period may still take some time in the regular season. He'll have to learn where he's most impactful along with those other players. Chet is a high IQ player that has a mindset of doing what helps the team rather than what shows off his ability. And I love this quote from him about what he learned in those games. Not trying to drive the trigger when somebody is loaded. That's the middle of the floor, especially when we're 5 out and there's a big standing at the elbow. So I just got to recognize that sooner and understand to, get off the ball and get the action to the opposite side or just figure out something other than, drive through 2 people. And then, of course, the defensive end. We already knew he was borderline elite as a shot blocker, and the two-handed stuffs are absolutely sick. But his impact is beyond the flashy elements. His presence alone forced straight-up U-turns from guards and forwards when they saw him lurking. His positioning and instincts are top tier. And even when he's not in perfect position, he can recover and do things other players just can't. And the way he knows how to guard the space in pick and roll coverage, both controlling the ball handler and playing the lob or the drop-off, is impressive. The Thunder were on the fringe of a top 10 defense last season and did it without a center much of the year. Adding Chet into the mix is a game changer, but it will also require some tactical tweaks, and he also can't become a security blanket that is just there to clean up perimeter mistakes. If OKC wants Chet to truly be a defensive stopper, they also have to keep doing their jobs. The main thing, what's been fun watching Chet in these games is the areas he can improve in are pretty clear, but the areas he's already super good at are also very clear. Number 2, do not sleep on Ouz. His summer league got off to a bumpy start with an off shooting night that looked worse than it really was because some easy looks didn't go in. But as the 2 weeks went on and Dieng settled in, the talent began to take over. At 6'10" and just 20 years old, his feel for the game is simply excellent. He passes well, handles great, and knows how to slow his body down in traffic. For Dieng, a lot of his challenge is in aggressiveness and assertiveness, and as the confidence has built, so did the good games. The step-back threes were things of beauty, and the overall control of the game put him firmly back in the best young core photoshops. With next season's depths, Dieng will have to compete and perform for opportunities, But when he inevitably gets those chances, don't question why it's happening, because you saw exactly the thing Thunder coaches and staff have been seeing. 3. J-Dub, still good. 4. J-Will, still impactful. Even in Summer League, dude is taking charges, screaming out defensive coverages, making winning plays. We may look back at that 2022 Thunder draft of 4 players as something to remember. 5. Tre Mann. Let's all pause here to watch that dunk again together.
Just kind of.
But beyond that, actually, let's watch it one more time.
Just kind of. That was a pretty good play.
Mann played well in Summer League, shooting the ball with confidence and finding ways to finish inside. He was the best player on the floor for extended stretches, and while the Thunder's backcourt has a lot of competition in it, Mann just adds to the depth. He can play on the ball and off, which is why he said he's been working more on catching and shooting this offseason. His second season was tough, with him admitting to struggling with confidence at times, but hopefully Summer League gives him a positive boost going into this year. 6. Cason Wallace can shoot. He said in pre-draft workouts and interviews he's a better offensive player than he put on tape at Kentucky, and he definitely showed that. The shooting was great, but the feel was especially interesting, with well-timed lobs to cutters standing out. Wallace is known to be a dog defender, both on ball and off, and we can expect he'll bring that edge to his rookie season. But there may be more to the offensive side than some initially thought too. And number 7, Keyontae Johnson is an interesting player. The 50th overall pick will be on a 2-way deal for OKC, and the athleticism really stood out. His story of resilience is something that makes him a great match with the Thunder, but he also has the mentality of defense first, toughness, and skill that will probably get him on the floor this season. He shot the ball well and can play multiple positions. He just looks like a guy that would play for the Thunder. Okay, that was 7 things. How long was this video? Is it October yet?